Someone is calling my sister from inside the room. Imagine hearing that trembling, panicked voice on the other end of a 911 call. That's Daniel Ross. When lead investigator Detective Lucas Harris pulls up to the scene, he finds the front door wide open. Daniel is standing out on the lawn, and the guy is literally pale as a ghost. Harris asks, "Where is your sister?" And Daniel just wordlessly points up the stairs. So the two men head up. As they get close, a woman's voice floats right through a closed bedroom door, simply saying, "Daniel?" Daniel immediately backs away in absolute terror. He tells the detective, "That's my sister's voice." Harris throws open the door, and guys, this is where the mystery officially kicks off.
It's here that Detective Harris walks into a literally impossible situation. Let's look at the facts of this room for a second. First off, Megan, the sister, has been officially missing for 3 whole days. But her voice is echoing around this room. Yet, when Harris steps inside, the space is completely empty. He checks the messy bed, he tears open the closet, nothing. The windows locked tight from the inside. And then, the most chilling part happens. Out of absolutely nowhere, the voice speaks again, saying, "Daniel, close the door." So this isn't just some random repeating tape. It's directly responding to Daniel being there.
Harris is frantically looking around, right? He's trying to pinpoint the audio, which sounds like it's right next to them. Then, out of the corner of his eye, an old, dusty television powers on all by itself. Boom. On the screen, they see Megan. She's just sitting on a sofa in some totally unfamiliar room, and it looks exactly like a live broadcast. Daniel loses it, screaming, "Where is this?" Harris immediately assumes, okay, she's got to be held hostage in another part of the house. But when he checks the back of that TV, no internet connection, no cables, no camera plugged in. It defies all logic.
They sprint downstairs to check the living room, but the sofa there is totally empty. Back up on the screen, and Megan looks dead into the camera lens and asks, "Daniel, did you bring the police?" Then she delivers this incredibly cryptic message. "They will tell you I am dead. Do not believe it." And just like that, click, the TV shuts off. The cops practically tear the house apart looking for her, but there is zero trace of Megan. They do, however, find something in a kitchen drawer, a small cassette recorder. On it, Megan's voice is whispering. She says she knows someone has been entering her room, even though she never sees them. And she says that this unseen visitor arrives every single night at exactly 2:11 a.m.
Talk about building suspense, right? On that cassette tape, Megan's final whispered words are, "Today I saw her. She looks just like me." Hearing this, Detective Harris glances down at his watch. It's 2:10 a.m. One incredibly tense minute ticks by. Then, at exactly 2:11 a.m., Megan's voice echoes from that upstairs bedroom again. "Daniel." Harris instantly draws his weapon. They creep back upstairs. But this time, the bedroom door is locked from the inside. They hear crying. Daniel pleads through the wood, "Megan, where were you?" And the voice just replies, "I was right here." It's 2:12 a.m. now, and Harris kicks the door clean off its hinges. But, you guessed it, the room is completely empty again.
Okay, so the physical space is empty, but the room itself left a message. In the attached bathroom, traced by a human finger into the fresh steam on the mirror, are these words, "You are looking for the wrong sister." I mean, wow, this completely changes everything. It rips the investigation right out of the physical house and throws it straight into the county archives. Detective Harris realizes he isn't just hunting for a missing person anymore. He is hunting for a missing history.
We really have to understand this family dynamic to grasp what's going on. Officially, Daniel lived his entire life believing he and Megan were twins, the only 2 kids in the Ross family. But when Harris starts digging through old birth certificates the very next day, he finds something hidden. There was actually a 3rd child listed on the original paperwork, a baby named Mara. Now, according to those initial records, Mara tragically died just hours after she was born.
Any good investigator knows you have to cross-reference your data, right? When Harris pulls the actual hospital records, he hits what we can call the Mara paradox. The hospital files show Mara actually survived and was quietly given back to the Ross family. This means Daniel's parents actually raised 2 girls, but kept one's identity completely secret. Mara grew up, figured out who she really was, and apparently reached out to Megan, but when police dig just a little bit deeper into the death certificates, they hit a massive brick wall. Mara died 19 years ago.
Now, what's really interesting about this sheer logic problem is this. If Mara, the secret sister, died 19 years ago, she absolutely cannot be the one haunting this house today. So who on earth is speaking in Megan's voice? Why is Megan showing up on an unplugged TV? Who is calling out for Daniel at exactly 2:11 a.m.? Detective Harris realizes the supernatural math just isn't adding up, so he pivots back to the most grounded physical piece of evidence he has, standing right in front of him: Daniel.
Harris demands to search Daniel's phone, and buried deep inside it, he finds a hidden video. It was recorded the night before Megan supposedly vanished. In the clip, Megan looks right at the camera and says, "If I go missing tomorrow, tell my brother." But she stops mid-sentence. She looks off camera, her face goes totally dark, and she says, "No, don't tell him anything." Then from behind the camera, Megan's own voice echoes back, "Because he already knows." And the video cuts to black. Harris slowly looks up at Daniel, who is standing dead silent in the room, and asks him one more time, "Where is your sister?"
And that's when Daniel finally breaks. He looks into the mirror and whispers, "She wasn't my sister. She was my mother." Yeah, you heard that right. This is the ultimate mother's secret. Before Daniel's father passed away, he confessed to this massive family lie. Megan was never Daniel's twin. She was actually his mother's secret older child from a previous relationship. To protect her own reputation, the mother hid Megan's true lineage and raised her own daughter as if she were just a sibling to her son. It's a staggering revelation.
This brings us to the really dark truth of the matter. This completely shatters the ghost story illusion and replaces it with cold, hard, true crime. Once Megan uncovered this massive, twisted web of lies, she didn't just walk away. She used the secret to blackmail the family. Driven absolutely to the edge, Daniel took matters into his own hands. 3 days ago, Daniel murdered Megan. He then meticulously staged the house, called 911, and put on the performance of a lifetime as a terrified brother whose sister had vanished into thin air. He really thought he had committed the perfect crime. But Daniel severely underestimated Megan. He had no idea he was walking right into a perfect mechanical trap. Let's look at how Megan basically weaponized automation to haunt her killer from beyond the grave. Step 1. Suspecting Daniel might try to hurt her, Megan secretly wired the whole house with hidden cameras before she died. Step 2. She rigged these devices to automatically upload everything to a remote, off-site server. Step 3. She programmed a highly specific timed playback sequence. The creepy audio, the live-looking broadcast on the unplugged TV, they were all pre-recorded responses designed to trigger every single night at exactly 2:11 a.m., especially if Daniel brought the police into the house. It's the ultimate tech versus terror contingency plan. Honestly, it really makes you rethink the digital footprints we leave behind in our own homes.
And you know what? That contingency plan worked flawlessly. The final automated video plays, and Megan delivers her ultimate judgment from beyond the grave. She says, "Daniel, if you see this, it means you have killed me." The haunting wasn't a ghost at all. It was just a smart algorithm executing a dead woman's revenge. Armed with this on-screen confession and Daniel's broken silence, the police head straight down into the old basement storeroom of the house, and there they finally find Megan's concealed body. The case is officially closed, and Daniel is caught.
Case closed, right? Well, not quite. The investigators are left deeply unsettled by the very end of Megan's final video. Right after she accuses Daniel of murdering her, her tone completely shifts. She looks directly into the lens and says, "I know you think I am alone." Then she looks just slightly off camera, gives this soft, incredibly eerie smile, and adds, "But I am not alone." Right before that final video cuts to black, the police spot something absolutely terrifying. In the background of the footage, reflected in a mirror right behind Megan, is a face. The police enhance the image, and the face does not belong to Megan. They cross-reference it with the 19-year-old records, and it doesn't belong to the deceased secret sister, Mara, either. It is the face of a complete stranger. But remember, at the time Megan recorded that video inside the locked, secure house, she was supposedly entirely alone. So as we wrap up this explainer, I have to leave you with one last chilling question to ponder. If the haunting was entirely mechanical and the family tree was fully mapped out, whose unknown face was watching Megan from the mirror?